being wandered into this world. Very strange indeed. Rightly so, the world is controlled by chance and chaos. Anything can happen as quick as a wink. Nobody knows. Something you have today may be gone tomorrow, just like this berry. Important stuff, irreplaceable stuff, all these may come to harm with superlative ease. And what's frightening is there is absolutely no meaning to what happens in your daily lives. I hate those stupid accents. Meaning is not existent. No matter what's born, lost, or changed, it's beyond calculation. Nothing and no one is watching over you, such is life. I'm going to bed. I suggest you sleep too. Says, just a second there, I give you a place to sleep and you're leaving without a word of thanks. I'm coming with you, and I have a feeling I can get out of here if I tag along. Besides, you won't be able to make it inside that tower alone. I'll open it for you. Says, you are very late. Come on, Lynx, let's go. We don't have time to be dawdling here. We may get lost in time. I can't afford to lose you just yet. I just say I'm not Lynx. Harley says, you're no longer Bunny, you're Lynx. Just take a look at yourself. Who in their right mind is going to believe you? It's simple. If everyone except for yourself says that you're Mr. Lynx, then, well, you're Mr. Lynx. It's as simple as that. It's who you are. If you try to go against reality, reality will crush you. Reality will kill you. And reality will continue to go on as if nothing ever happened. From yesterday to today, and from today to tomorrow. Time marches on, leaving your crushed body behind. I say, but I'm Bunny. Harley says, so you still insist that you're Bunny. Regarding your memory as this Bunny, you may be able to rewrite it if you use the dragon tier. In reality, you died 10 years ago in the other world. How can you say for sure this is the real you? Maybe for you it's evident, but I wonder if you were ever really Bunny. Furthermore, what is Bunny? A figure, a shape, a spirit, a soul? Where is Bunny? Who am I? Who are you? You're not me, I'm not you. I'm reality. You are... And he trails off. Now open the door to reality only. One mistake and you'll never make it back to the real world. Oh my. Harley says, how boring. I understand how you feel. Let's head back to reality. course it wants to be annoying. Listen, old lady, you are not getting any younger. Try to control your emotions. There is absolutely no time to be partying. We must hurry along. What's your problem, lass? It's been years since I've been back to the real world. You sure are a buzzkill. Anyway, where to now? Harley says, Mr. Lynx, you seem worried about that bunny character. Do you remember the place where it all started, where angels lose their way? Sprig says, where angels, whatever. It has a bad ring to it. What exactly is it? Harley says a gate to another world, something like that. Sprig says, what are you saying? There's another dimensional distortion in this world? Very interesting indeed. Where is this place? Harley says, leave that up to Mr. Lynx. Let's just get going, but first we must leave this forest. Sprig says, what? It disappeared. What's going on? Sprig says, what's wrong, Lynx? Don't tell me the dimensional gate won't open. You're in hot water now. Harley says, of course it won't. The missing piece to this world has been found. There's nothing we can do. You are now just an unwanted piece. Sprig says, very interesting. What are you going to do now? How about we go explain your situation to your mother? We might be able to find something out. Harley says, excuse me, geezer, what kind of attitude is that? I'll kick you to the moon if you talk to my Lynx like that. Person says, freak. Marge says, who might be? May I help you? You just said you're mommy. Please explain to me what's going on here. I see, so that man told you to go to the Sea of Eden. I really don't know about dimensional distortions or about the other world, but if, like you say, something big is really on the verge of happening, it may have all started 14 years ago, on the night of the storm. That night, your father, Wazuki, and his friend Miguel set out to sea. Despite a storm, it was an emergency. They were swallowed by the high waves and lost consciousness. When they came to, they found themselves inside the Dead Sea, a place where no living creature dares enter. I don't know what he saw or what happened, but that incident changed your father. And your father's friend, Miguel, that was Lena's father, he never returned. Back then, that place wasn't called the Dead Sea. I believe they called it the Sea of Eden, around 14 years ago. Are you the ones everyone's talking about? Radius says, "No, this can't be. Are you Lynx? You're still alive? Step outside. I was once a member of the valiant Acacia Dragoons. I must put a stop to you." Harley says, "I wouldn't show off like that if you want to live. Do not underestimate the power of Mr. Lynx. One blow and it's off to the other world with you." Radius says, "Silence. Now step outside." Says, "I do not sense malice in your attacks. Do you really mean to tell me you're not Lynx? Is it true that the General is still active in the other world? Here the General has been missing for 3 years. I shall accompany you. You may still have a chance to save the General and Riddell in the other world." Harley says, "This geezer is only going to get in the way." And gather news about General Viper's disappearance. Don't worry, we will find a clue to return you to the other worlds. There are people out there who won't judge you by your appearance. Just keep your head up and do your best. Understand? Check out that guy's face. Scary. Our investigation is done. Let's get the hell out of here. I want to go back to Pore. Lynx, how dare you have the nerve to return to this town? Get out of here. Radius says, looks like the youngin's unwanted here as well. Harley says, humans are very selfish. To think that they used to bow their heads down to curry favor with Mr. Lynx. They're always searching for someone or something to lay their blame on. Radius says, I believe it has been 4 years since I retired from the Dragoons. Time flies. I was shocked to hear of Dario's death 3 years ago, and now the General and the others are missing. The manor is in shambles. I took the liberty of conducting my own investigation, but I discovered nothing. All I know is that a man named Lynx approached the General and has involved him in some kind of incident. The only difference with the other world you talk about is that something has happened to the General 3 years ago. I hope that this Norris fellow knows something. Harley says, I know nothing. I was not involved with the plan. I do not find it amusing. Anyways, he just talks about the Sky Dragon. We don't need to worry ourselves with that. So Norris is in the basement. Okay. Oh, I think you go through this like little hut thing. So Norris is in the basement. And over here. The ladder leading to the prison is up ahead. Sir Norris is up the slide. How helpful. Norris says, Sir Lynx, it's been a while. As you can see, the manor is in shambles. There is still no sign of the General or the others. We are still investigating the area, but it appears that the frozen flame is not here. Are you really Sir Lynx? You seem different than I last remember. Radius says, you're correct. He's not Lynx. Norris says, excuse me, but who might you be? Radius says, I'm Radius, a dragoon, although I've been retired for 4 years. Norris says, so you're Radius, one of the former 4 divas. It's an honor to meet you. Norris says, I believe you, but it's hard to accept that this man is not Sir Lynx. Radius says, he may look like it, but his spirit is of another. Norris says, that is quite strange if I say so. Radius says, it's up to you what you want to believe. What business did you have with Lynx? Have you uncovered anything about the disappearance of the General? You'll be doing a great favor by telling us what you know. Norris says, very well. Let me explain. It was actually Sir Lynx who approached us about the existence of the frozen flame in El Nido. Being from the main continent, we had doubted its very existence, so I was sent to El Nido Archipelago as a spy. I had narrowed down the location to Viper Manor, but it appeared as though General Viper and his men were in search of it as well. Eventually, I was called back to Pore, but it was then that I heard General Viper and his men had disappeared, and that the manor had been destroyed as such. I heard only recently that there is good evidence the General and his men headed to the Dead Sea. The Dead Sea is an ocean located to the east, surrounded by coral. It used to be called the Sea of Eden, but even then, not many dared enter. We investigated the area to no avail. We could find no entrance. It is you, Sir Lynx, who wish to change this distorted world using the frozen flame. Such grand dreams, Mr. Lynx, says Harley. Radius says, hold your tongue. So, the Dead Sea. That ocean was called the Sea of Eden until 3 years ago. This may be the clue we were looking for. Once we uncover Lynx's plans, it should be easy enough to counter them. Nora says, are you planning to head to the Dead Sea? There's no way to get in there. We searched all over for an entrance. No one knows anything about it either. Radius says, I doubt you'll be able to get in. I'm sure the demi-humans of Marbul know something about this, but they detest humans, especially those from the main continent. Perhaps they would give us a hint if we were to go. Nora says, then may I join you, sir? I want to know if the frozen flame really exists and about everything that happened here. Radius says, what about you? Harley says, me? But of course, I will follow Mr. Lynx. The older one, I don't even know what that says. Anyways, Nora says, there is a military boat docked in Termina. Let us use that. Alright, so there's our little boat. Call me anytime you like. Maybe I can only use it on the roadmap. village. Marville used to belong to the demi-humans. Demi-humans were originally located in the northern region, but after Corey's colonization, they were forced out of the mainland and ended up here. Their bad luck continued. Marville, with its rich element resources, became the target of hunters. With nowhere else to go, most of the demi-humans left the village to work on the SS Zelvis. They work as laborers and are treated like dirt. I feel really bad for them. Anyway, that's why you have this ghost town here. The rooms are still furnished, so feel free to spend the night if you're tired. Use the hut by the entrance. The Dead Sea, no one would dare go there. I don't know the details, but I've heard it's cursed. Everyone's afraid of defying this dragon god, but being the great explorer that I am, I plan to make an expedition there someday. You want to know how to get inside? Supposedly there's only one way. It's called Death's Door. Unfortunately, even I don't know where it is. Why don't you ask the sage above the SS Zelvis? Those monsters? I'm not too sure, but they've been here a while. They have no substance. You can't touch them, and they can't touch you, so there's no way to communicate. I hear people call them the Black Nightmare. I guess they're like a bad dream. Maybe a song would wake them up. Haha, just kidding. Anyway, there's nothing we can do about them. Don't worry about it. This person says, "Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to my fantastic magic show. Is there anyone in the audience who would like to volunteer for the next trick? How about you?" Who, me? It seems like fun, but you're not gonna slice me in two, are ya? Nothing to worry about. You're in good hands. Step up to the stage. Here goes nothing. Now, what's your name, lady? Lady says Jill. Well, let's start off with something simple. Jill, you're gonna walk on air. You're feeling lighter. Very light. She's floating. And now for the main event. You will become a chair. You can withstand any weight. See, no strings. She's even able to support a fatso like him. Okay, it's about time we brought Jill back. How was it, Jill? It felt like I had no control over my body, but it didn't hurt. It was very strange. The magician says, "Thank you for your assistance." Somebody says, "You're a phony and you probably had this planned out." The guy says, "You don't believe in me? Looks like I have something to prove. Step up on the stage." The guy says, "Go ahead and do what you want. I know there's a trick." The magician says, "You're a real live wire. What's your name?" The guy says, "Jack." "Well then, Jack, seeing as how restless and irritated you are, here's one of my favorite tricks. I'll turn you into a cat. What do you think? Don't be afraid, I'll change you back to normal. Do you believe me now? Thank you for your assistance. I hope you enjoyed the show." Okay. Stage performers only. Excuse me, but I need to get to work. Please let me through. Ask him about Marville's sage. This We're looking for the Sage of Marble. The man says, I don't believe he's here. Try somewhere else. At least we get fed, says that person. Don't make me work overtime. I want to go home. Do you know what's happening in Marbule? I say it's as beautiful as ever. Good, I wish I could go back there one day. Do you know how the ship got its name? I say no. There was once a beautiful love that flourished, a love between a human and a mermaid. The mermaid was Zelbes, and the human was... I'm sure you'll find it hard to believe, but it was Fargo. He used to be so nice. What made him change? I have to mop the floors. Let me through. Alright, don't slack off. That old man used to be the leader of Marbule, but now he's mopping our floors. Through this door is the Grand Slam, a world where the weak are victims of the strong. Power is justice. Just what the captain preaches. Anyway, I'll let you through if you get the captain's permission. Fargo says it's been quite some time. You've grown up. The mermaid says, Fargo, you've not changed at all. You're still here drowning in memories of the past. Fargo says, what do you know? I lost everything when I lost Zelbes. The mermaid says, that is untrue. My sister felt hope, a treasure that may one day bring humans and demi-humans together. Fargo says, you mean Nikki? The mermaid says, yeah, and his sister Marcy. Fargo says, that child died with Zelbes when Lucia, and then trails off. The mermaid says, you don't know anything, do you? Or you refuse to know. You only remember the past, which is favorable for you. Lucia tried to save my sister Zelbes, but she was only able to save the baby Marcy. Lucia felt responsible and had supported Marcy from a distance throughout her life. Look at you now. Where is the old you, who had the passion and desire to build a new world with my sister? Fargo says, the old me is dead. What do you want? I don't need to be lectured by you. Mermaid says, understood. Let me get to the point. You have taken away the song of the demi-humans. In other words, we would like you to free the sage. Fargo says, I see, but why? You know that song too, don't you? The mermaid says, do not feign ignorance, Fargo. You should know better. Only when the song is sung by one with special power can the effects be brought into full play. My sister, Zelbes, isn't dead, and you have taken away the sage. Marbule no longer has its true power without that song. Marbule is now a nesting ground for evil dream spirits. Fargo says, interesting, but so what? I don't want outsiders in Marbule. That suits me just fine. The mermaid says, how much longer are you going to be stubborn? The Marbule you once knew is no longer there. You will only find a nightmare. Open your eyes to reality. Fargo says, I'm not releasing the sage. The mermaid says, fine, I will not beseech you. I will not give up on the restoration of Marbule. I will continue to strive to make my sister's dream come true. Harley says, we'd like to get through to the Grand Slam. Fargo says, you're out for blood. Where'd you come from? Harley says, Marbule. Fargo says, what are you doing here anyway? Harley says, we're looking for the sage. Fargo says, I'm sorry, but there's no one of that sort above the Zelbes. Plus, I don't want strangers ruining my fun on my ship. Sorry, can't grant you access. Fargo says, but that wouldn't be fun. The foundation of the Zelbes is entertainment. Wanna try your luck? Fargo says, that's right, there's a casino down below. If you win, I'll give you access to the Grand Slam. But if you lose, how about you give me your boat? What do you say? I say let's do it. Fargo says, good, that's the spirit. I'll meet you at the casino. Don't chicken out. Ha 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 ha. Anyways. The magician says, no, not again. Fargo says, give it up. You don't have what it takes. One of these days I'm gonna slap your dirty face with a wad of cash and get the heck off of this ship, says the magician. Fargo says, well, look who's here. That old man has built up quite a debt from his casino, so now I own him. I suggest you don't let the same happen to you. Excuse me, may I have your attention? I need to have a private game with these folks. Would you mind leaving us alone for a while? I'll clear any debts you may have. They say, are you serious, Captain? Fargo says, did I stutter? Alright. The Captain is good. Better watch it. Take it easy on him, Captain. Fargo just laughs. Thanks, everyone. I'll be done soon. Okay, then, let's begin. The usual, Captain? Fargo says yes. Sudden death. The rules are simple. Of course, stupid thing is gonna disconnect itself. Press the X button after the dealer spins the compass. Will alternate turns. The pointer will stop on northeast, south, or west. Should the pointer stop on south, you lose. Simple game. Just don't let it start. Don't let it stop on south. It's a game of luck rather than skill. I'll go first. You're up. Fargo says you got a ways to go before you can beat me. Well then, it looks like you owe me your boat. Don't hold a grudge, I won fair and square. Guess that means you have to swim back. Sorry about that, didn't realize I had a customer. Excuse me, what can I do for you? Hey, don't go up there. Nora says, right above this inn is the casino where we played Fargo. Something's fishy. If only we could move around freely, like that cat. The magician says, welcome to our fantastic show. How about we start off with Cat on a Hot Tin Roof? Do I have a volunteer? You folks must be new. Would you like to volunteer? I say yes. The magician says, excellent. Step up to the stage. Are you ready? 1, 2, 3. We are now kids. Where do you think you're going? Salt and pepper here. That's kind of fun. Where do I go, though? What's shaking with this cat? Let's see. Cats can just like open doors, no problem. Pops at it again. No, why me? Fargo says, too bad, you have to learn when to quit. The magician says, I want to buy some cat food for those folks. Fargo says, for who? The magician says, none of your beeswax. Ouch, my back. This guy says, don't scare me like that. To lie down a bit because I strained my back. Finally, I'm able to stand up. I'm not 100% better, but I can change your back. Welcome to my fantastic show. I have to start off like that to concentrate. Anyway, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's a load off my shoulders. I better stop using that. Listen, I'm sorry you had to put up with being a cat. If there's anything I can do to make it up to you, I'd like to help, but due to unforeseen circumstances, I'm forced to stay on this ship. Please do come by again if you're ever around. The least I can do is offer you a cup of tea. Fargo says, I can't allow you into the Grand Slam. Nikki says, but why? I really need to talk to the sage, or else that beautiful island will be gone forever. I can't stand here and do nothing. Fargo says, you don't understand. True beauty is found within a dying entity. Therefore, I will watch over Marbule when the time comes. Furthermore, you and I have a contract. For the time being, you're in my possession. What am I supposed to do should anything happen to you? That would be a great financial loss for me. Nikki says, so you're saying I'm nothing but a mere object? Fargo says, if that's what you think, so be it. Nikki says, that dressing table looks exactly like my mother's. There's even that scratch I made when I was a child. Could it be that you're my father? The gentle and caring father I used to know? You're my father, aren't you? But why are you participating in such dubious acts? Fargo says, I'm no longer the father you once knew. I lost everything when your mother passed away. Laugh at me all you want. Pity me if you wish. But remember this, Nikki, man is not as strong as you think. Nikki says, Father, And he leaves. Fargo says, do you want to challenge me again? I say, okay. He says, you folks never learn. I'll meet you down there. Says, I thought you might have chickened out. Okay, I'll go first. What? Impossible. Interesting little item you got there. I guess you found me out. As promised, I'll give you access to the Grand Slam. Of course, you'll get your boat back as well. How did you manage to get a hold of that handle? Wanna play? No thanks. Perfect. Why must we demi-humans lend a hand to humans? What will you do if I refuse? Will you use brute force? I say yes. The sage then says, then Sage says, I sense you're quite serious. Could it be that you're carrying the burden of fate for the human race? Or for all life forms? Let me give you this. I'm sure you'll be able to put it to good use. Just remember, opening a new gate also brings forth misfortune. Do not forget. There's an area where the Dead Sea... There is an area near the Dead Sea where the tides are different. Use that item there. Nature will take over from there. Nikki says, finally. I knew I'd find you here. You know the legendary song of Marbule, right? I want you to teach me that song. The sage says, why do humans have to be so selfish? That song only has a place in the hearts of demi-humans. Why should I teach it to you? Nikki says, the mermaid asked me. Sage says, I see she hasn't given up. Nikki says, it's not only because she asked me. I personally have a great interest in that song. A beautiful song originating from a beautiful island. I'm not 100% sure if I'll be able to pull it off, but if it means I can save someone through my song... The sage says, there was once a man just like you. Nikki says, who? Sage says, Fargo. Nikki says, my father. The sage says, ah, so you are his son. I guess history does repeat itself. I had high hopes for that man. High hopes that he would one day tear down the wall between demi-humans and humans. But look at us now, the walls are even higher. Nikki says, please don't speak badly of him. No one understands the pain he's going through. Even though he has built up this lively place, he screams in sorrow alone. I can hear him, his screams of despair which no one else can hear or want to. The sage says, you understand too. Nikki says, I beg of you, please. If my father hears it... The sage says, I'm sorry, but I have other areas of the ship I must mop. Nikki says, but... The sage says, while I hum myself a song. Nikki says, then you'll... and trails off. I saw the way you fought back there. I've been looking for tough guys like you. It would be an honor if we could talk inside my ship. Anyways... Nikki says, I knew you would come. Well now, that's why we're all here. Here's my idea. How would you like to save the island? Nikki says, think before you speak. You've got to be out of your mind. Nikki says, I'm serious. According to the mermaid, the island is infested with monsters. Their only weakness is a demi-human song that the sage knows. While we perform our gig near the island, these people will exterminate the monsters. Of course you'll help out, right? Of course. Nikki says, I knew it. Mermaid says, I shall gather all the demi-humans on this ship to play backup instruments. It will be difficult for humans to play the proper notes. Nikki says, but don't we have to bring the ship over to Marbule? Our ship is chained to the Zelbus. And plus, we have a contract with that Fargo guy. We can't leave. Nikki says, I know. I don't intend to go alone. Wouldn't want to disappoint our fans. The only hurdle left to clear now is how to convince my father. Fargo. I'll leave that up to you, Mermaid. We have to concentrate on setting up the gig. Nikki says, hey, you know, this is starting to sound interesting. It's almost like a test to see how far we can take our show. Nikki says, so you're with me on this one? Great, let's get ready for rehearsal. Thank you for your support. The sage says, I trust you'll put on a good show. to have involved you in quite a task. If there is anything at all I can do, I will be happy to join you. Okay. Radius says, I sense a strange vibe. Stay alert. Radius says, what is the evil sword Masamune doing here? It's no use. We will not be able to proceed without going insane. We have no choice but to withdraw. The path appears to be blocked off by that sword. He must already be in there. The negative sentiment associated with that sword has intensified. It'll be... yeah, you already said that. Nora says, is that the so-called evil sword Masamune? Do you know anything about it? Nora says, what shall we do? We cannot make our way into the Dead Sea without removing that sword. Radius says, only the Einlanzer can break the seal of the Masamune. Nora says, the Einlanzer, the sword forged by ancient Draconians? Radius says, yes, the legendary holy sword. I have placed that sword to rest beside its rightful owner, Garai. May he rest in peace. Although it pains me to disturb his eternal sleep, we have no other choice. Nora says, where is this place? Radius says, the Isle of the Damned. Yeah, whatever. He talks too much. Radius says it took you long enough. I've been waiting. Dario's father, Garai, and I used to use this island for our training. Radius says I lose again. Garai says you're half step too slow. I can read your every move. Radius says you're the only one who knows that since we practice together so often. Anyways. Radius says, the Einlanzer is a legendary holy sword passed on to the most skilled swordsman of the Dragoons. It belonged to Grai before Dario took the title. He was magnificent. Radius says, could it really be the Sword of Legend, the Masamune? My word. Grai says, leave it alone, I'm worried. Radius says, what could be wrong? It's legendary. Grai says, don't touch it. Radius says, see, there's nothing to fear. Grai says, perhaps not. Let's go. No use hanging around this eerie place. Radius says, ah. Radius says, the Masamune, that sword is cursed with hate and sorrow. Anyone who lays his hands on it will be overcome with negative sentiments and driven mad. Enough talk. Wait here for a moment. With this mirror, we should be able to make it into the inner parts of the Isle of the Damned. Let us be off. Okay. I skipped a step there. Back on that day, I was overcome by the power of that sword. Grai says, who'd have thought we'd find Masamune in a place like this? Radius says, I know. Hey, Grai. Grai says, arg, what the? Radius laughs, now I'm the top swordsman. Ha ha ha, I'm the prince. Wait, what happened? What have I done? No. Stabbing people in the back with an evil sword. Super evil. Radius says, I lost my sanity because of that sword. I must admit, the sword is not entirely to blame. I was jealous. I wanted to be better. The once renowned Masamune, the holy sword that conquers darkness, could it merely be a tool for murder? Anyways, the mysterious voice says, should you feel remorse for what you have done, then may you fall by my sword. Radius says, Grai, no. Listen to me, we need the Einlanzer to seal the cursed evil sword. Grai says, then express your intent to the Einlanzer as a true swordsman. You must defeat me to proceed. Radius says, in order to believe in what is right, must one suffer pain and sorrow. Grai says, do not hesitate, show me your pride. Okie dokie. Links received Einlanta. Radius says, I have always been prepared to fall to a sword held by one of your sons. Perhaps Glenn will now take on that role now that Dario is gone. However, I must attend to some unfinished business. Wait a little longer, my friend. May your eternal dream live on. Freaking bullshit. Says, we shall use the holy powers of the Einmonster. The sword is a reflection of one's soul. How I pity you. You've done no wrong either. I just hope that one day that sword will be freed of enmity. Whatever the shit that is. Harley says, this is the Dead Sea. It's some sight. I feel like I'm living a nightmare. Norris says the waves are at a standstill. And what is that dark shadow? Harley says the treacherous ocean, the earth condemned by dragon gods. It's not all that bad. Dead Sea. The chaos must have spread out from here. Harley says the building seems to have melted into one giant conglomeration. What's up with this place? Predicted the death of all the moles. Sense something? Harley says, are you alright? You saw a child. I didn't see that. Nora says, nothing will surprise me here. Let's keep going. We're inside a building, yet what's this thing doing here? Nora says this place is beyond me. Norris says, these are the Acacia Dragoons who disappeared 3 years ago. What happened? Harley says, it's unfortunate, but it appears they were held captive before they died. It's too late. They're so close, but so far. No one can help them. Looks like Chrono. Norris says, are you alright? What's wrong? Harley says, you've been acting strange ever since we entered the building. Is it that child again? There's no turning back now. We must keep going. Clouds from the Dead Sea cleared up. It appears that the dimension itself is more unstable than I thought. Yeah, whatever. Something distortion. I don't really care. These characters tend to repeat themselves a lot. Throwback to the first game. Yeah, that's definitely Marley and Chrono and Luca right there. Nadia's bell. May our prayers for peace ring on for eternity. But Nadia's bell will never be heard again. Never. We, no, everyone, works to save the planet's future for nothing. It's all because of you. You killed it. So many lives were supposed to be saved. This planet was to be healed with love, hope, and dreams. How could you do such a thing? It's all your fault that the world is going to end up like this. It's all your fault. Murderer. Norris says, who are those children? Harley says, it's Bunny's fault the world will end up like this. Don't let it bother you, says a mystery voice. It's just a distant echo from one's far gone. It's just an illusion. Welcome to the Tower of Getting. Time crash, ground zero. It's been a while, Bunny, but I guess you don't remember who I am. I don't blame you. You were only a little child back then. I'm Miguel, a friend of your father. According to the time outside, it's been about 14 years since the night of the storm. Wazuki says, what is this place? Miguel says, I don't know, but I don't think we're supposed to know about it. That child, says the mystery voice, that wounded child. Bring him to me. Miguel says, what was that? Who's there? Wait, Wazuki, where are you going? Wazuki says, there's no way we can set sail again in the storm. We don't have a second to waste, or else Bunny will... ... Miguel says, but... Wazuki cuts him off and says, I don't care what lies ahead. I'm going. There's no way I'll allow my son to die without a fight. I'd appreciate it if you waited for me here. Thank you for coming tonight, Miguel. Thank you. Miguel says, no, wait. Wazuki. Miguel says, I've been here in this very place for 14 years. It wasn't like this when I got here, though. An incident that occurred 10 years ago transformed it into the Dead Sea. Don't you know, there's nothing in the world as ruthless or impartial as death. All living matter ages over time and eventually dies, no matter how mighty or tiny its life force. So being alive means you're creeping closer to death with every second. But there's none of that here. No one and nothing ages, nothing wastes away. This quiet, boundless, and beautiful world, an ideal world straight out of a fairy tale. A place and time that belongs to no one. Res nullis. Anyways, it's because this is a future that was eliminated. History is composed of choices and divergence. Each choice you make creates a new world and brings forth a new future. But at the same time, you're eliminating a different future with the choices you didn't make. A future denied of all existence because of a change in the past. A future that was destroyed even before it was born rests here, condensed into the Dead Sea. Nora says, how is that possible? Miguel says, fate. All our lives are governed by it. Fate knows all and controls all. No one can run from it. Even your presence here was predetermined long ago. Wouldn't you all like to become one with this world? To be a part of eternity? How about it, Bunny? You need no longer struggle alone, nor fear an uncertain tomorrow. Well, what do you say? I think if you accept, you get like a bad ending. Nora says, Bunny, you can't be serious. We can't let ourselves die. Miguel says, there's only one thing left to do. I take it you're trying to restore the dimensional distortion. If you defeat me and liberate this place, the distortion will return to the way it was. I guess this is it. Just as there are times of peace, there are times of war. You don't have to hold back. Attack with me. Attack with all your soul if you wish to live. Let fate take its course. That's the way, Bunny. You've grown strong. Maybe, just maybe, you and your friends have the power to defy fate and build a new future. The Dead Sea is the true form of this planet's future. That's right. At one stage, our world was on the verge of such inevitable destruction. That was in 1999, when the parasitical alien life form known as Lavos awoke after centuries of feeding off the planet. Lavos fell from the heavens a countless number of years ago and burrowed deep beneath the surface to eat and sleep. Slowly but deliberately, Lavos devoured our planet from the inside out, waiting for the time to ripen for its true awakening. Finally, Lavos did awake and manifested its true form on the surface of the planet. That's when our world faced a death from which there seemed no possibility of escape. Were it not for a teenage boy and his group of adventurer friends, that is, these young heroes caught a glimpse of this planet's future destruction as it appeared in the year 2300. They realized they could not turn their backs on our planet, even if its death would not be anywhere near their lifetime. Time traveling from epoch to epoch, they battled Lavos for the future of our planet and eventually But in saving our planet from the death Lados was going to bring about, they also changed the course of history. At that very moment, this whole future time axis ceased to exist. Call it cause and effect. It is just a problem of possibilities, after all. In this world, there are no such things as absolutes or certainties. But the future that was supposed to have disappeared is about to be restored here. The future destruction of our planet is going to become a reality in this world once again. The vengeance of the future we killed is about to begin, with Bunny serving as the trigger. Miguel says perhaps or perhaps not. Either way, it is all part of the grand game of the gods and goddesses. People are dragged into playing this game, forced to put their own lives on the line without even knowing the rules. Without even being allowed to complain, they try to do their best under the conditions placed upon them. The only alternative is to give up and leave the playing field in a forfeit. 3 years ago, members of the Acacia Dragoons from Termina visited here. Those knights were after the frozen flame, of course, but instead they became salt for the Dead Sea. Only the chosen can approach the flame. It looks like fate has made its decision and has started to carry it out now. Fate doesn't want the frozen flame to awaken in this place at this time. It would choose to destroy the flame along with the whole Dead Sea than to allow its enemies to take hold of the flame. This lost future is about to disappear into the darkness beyond the dimensions again. You have no time to spare. You must leave here immediately. Quick, go. I love you so much. That is why I sometimes desire to smash you to bits. Miguel says, don't worry about me, you must go now. Farewell, Bunny. The future is yours for the taking. You, the one that the frozen flame has chosen. My dear Lena, may you live in a happier tomorrow. Says we're not gonna make it. Sons of Man, says the Sky Dragon. Says, why did you help us? The Sky Dragon says, I too would like to witness this. How thou shalt live and how thou shalt die. If thou art planning to bring forth a new entity, prepare thyself for anguish and sorrow. To the Sea of Eden. If thou intend to defy the goddess of fate, speak with the ancient dragon gods who sit in repose in El Nido. Let the path to the Sea of Eden be known when all the powers of the sleeping dragons are brought together. Nora says, Bunny, you are concerned about the other world, are you not? The dimensional distortion should be back in order. Let's head to Upasa Beach. Bipasa es usupasa. Or some silliness like that. The El Nido Tribe. Nora says, this is the dimensional gate. Harley says, let's get going. Someone is screaming. Go away, shoo, leave me alone. What's going on? Yikes, over here is a scary-looking Catman. Boy, am I in a major fix. Nora says, begone, demons, if you value your lives. Harley says, get out of our way. Whew, you saved me. I thought you were bad guys from the way you looked. I was looking for rainbow shells when those things started harassing me. But look, I got the shells all right. I better head back and give them to Kiki. Thanks a lot for saving me. Bye. Hey, mister, you should be careful too. Lots of monsters are running loose nowadays. All the grown-ups say it's a rebellion led by Bunny. And I heard this Bunny is trying to kill everyone on the island. I can't believe someone would want to do that. I wonder what's gonna happen. Nora says it looks like there is much chaos going on here. Harley says an uprising led by Bunny. So Bunny has become the enemy of the people. Oh my god, it's Catterday. Soldier is with you too? Well, in that case, it can't be helped. Just wait right there. I'll unlock it for you. Here, go in from the left side. Guile says, I feel that I might have met you before. Sorry, but I can't remember. Zoa says we meet again. After we fought you guys, we also entered Fort Dragonia too. Karsh says, General, He disappeared? Damn. This is bad. General, are you alright? Viper says, ugh, Riddell. Karsh says, don't stand around, help the General. Zoa says, I cannot believe this would happen to the General. Marcy says, I can't believe it. What in Dragoon's name happened here? So, what are all these shiny shards? Karsh says, not now, we have to stop the bleeding. Marcy, pick up the broken pieces. Karsh says, we brought the General to a hermit's hideaway and prayed for his recovery. He was able to escape death, but he still needs rest. However, we can't leave the manor for too long. So we came back here, leaving Marcy behind to take care of him, only to find the Pore military had taken control of Termina. Karsh says, what a shame. Because of them Pores, what do you gotta say to that? Nora says, I too question the methods the military has taken. That is why I'm acting in line with Sir Lynx. Karsh says, then don't you dare get in my way. Zoa says, we knew what was going on. The General talks in his sleep. Lynx is behind this, correct? Karsh says, that bastard, he's not gonna get away with this. We've got some fault in all of this, so we gotta do something about it. But first, we have to rescue Lady Riddell. She's being held captive at the manor, which the Pore military has converted into their headquarters. With your uniform, you can enter undetected, right? Let's join forces for the time being. It's not too late to go after him. Zoa says, one of us will remain here to collect information. The other will enter the manor. Let us meet afterwards. Karsh says, oh yeah, the shards on the ground must have been the dragon tier. We gathered as many as possible, but we don't have any use for it. You can have them. Let's just do that. Bunny as soon as you find him. Yes, sir, say the guards. Nora says, Sir Lynx, where have you been all this time? We heard that you headed to Fort Dragonia with the general. Exactly what happened back there? There have been many strange occurrences since then. Perhaps you know of a boy named Bunny. You are me? What is going on? Other Nora says, let's just say I'm another you and leave it at that. Pardon me for saying this, but it appears that both of us need to look at the big picture. We will only have a limited understanding by staying in the same place. Norris says, silence. A guard says, Commander Norris, there's an urgent message. Norris says, what is it? It's a level 2 message. Norris says, go ahead, take no heed. This man is one of us. Yes, sir. Grobik has just arrived at the manor, sir. Norris says, he's quite ahead of schedule. I will return ASAP. Sir Lynx, forgive me, but I must return to the manor at once. Please come to the manor a little later. We will discuss this in more detail. Sir Lynx, please go on. Let's see. Please go on board. Alright. A Pore officer says, being stubborn, huh? I'm gonna ask you one more time. What happened at Fort Dragonia? Where is General Viper? And where is the frozen flame? Riddell says, I do not know. Even if I did, I would not tell you. Damn this goody two-shoes. Listen up, Missy. Do you know what kind of predicament you're in? Norris says, please, sir, this woman has done nothing wrong. The officer says, she is a prisoner of the Pore military. This is a legitimate interrogation. Norris says, I do not believe that, sir. There has to be a better way to go about this. Just give it a little more time. And the officer cuts him off and says, we don't have the time. I have no time to be listening to your stories. Now, Missy, let's have you go down to the basement. Norris says, no, please. The officer says, I've had enough of you for today. I want you to stay out of this. Take her away. You disappoint me. Remain on standby in the parlor. Norris says, please wait. Think of what you're doing. Can you live with that? The officer says he won't talk to you. He has no interest other than fighting. Norris says, is he the one from the lab? The officer says, that's right. This is the killing machine, Grobik. Grobik only takes orders from those who are stronger. Okay. The officer says, another soldier who won't listen. Dismissed. The officer says, call in the cook. The hell one, of course. Yes, sir. Let's see now. That's lots. Norris says, please excuse these squalid conditions. This has been bothering me since we met up at Termina. You seem different. Harley says, this man is not Lynx. Nora says, what? Harley says, he looks like Lynx on the outside, but inside he's Bunny. Nora says, is that true? What happened? I see. So the Bunny commanding the insurgent troops is really Lynx. Everything is starting to make sense. We were wrong all along. We never should have joined forces with Lynx. And what brings you here? Harley says, General Viper's daughter should be here. Nora says, I see. Are you here to rescue her? Understood, I'd like to help. Riddell should be in the basement. Please take this. You receive the prison key. Nora says, there is a sewage system below the prison. You should be able to break into the prison by making your way through the sewers. Use the hatch downstairs. Beware, the sewers are full of monsters. Be alert. I have heard of one particularly frightening monster. I will be in the main hall. Please meet me there once you rescue Riddell. Okie dokie. Hi, Orcha. It's that time again. Orcha says, what are you talking about? You know, this. Hell, Orcha says, ah-cha-cha. This guy says, your guest is waiting in the basement. Okay. Harley says, the water's too fast. We should be able to stop it somewhere. Under investigation, I can't allow even you to pass. I was convinced the frozen flame would be here, but I was wrong. there's a secret room around here somewhere. I don't know about that. Lucia says, this flower is called Neopheo. As it matures, it will behave like a human. However, this Neopheo is like none other. It is a powerful type with the ability to use elements. Naturally, it was I who improved it. One is able to train it if it blossoms, but a life sparkle is necessary. I have pinpointed the whereabouts at Arni village. I sent some dragoons to retrieve it, but none have returned. It's a shame, but I cannot allow any more loss of life. I suggest you stay away from the marsh if you wish to live. Anyways, not quite sure where to go. Maybe I missed something in that basement. Just stay the fuck away from me. Okay, I get it now. Kind of. There seems to be some trick to opening it. There's a button. Let's type Fargo says, what the hell am I doing here? I missed the smell of the sea. Something's down below. Harley says, is anybody there? Fargo says, hold on a minute. Heave-ho. Shiver me timbers. Lynx. Harley says, calm down. Do you really think Lynx would be here? Fargo says, he's right before my eyes, isn't he? Harley says, this isn't Lynx, it's Bunny. Fargo says, you're pulling my leg. It's strange that he'd be here, but I'm honored that you would come save me. I owe you one. Harley says, we're not here to rescue you, we're here to rescue General Viper's daughter. Fargo says, is that so? Well, you ended up saving me anyway. Let me help. Harley says, do you know where she is? Fargo says, next door. How do we get out of here? Harley says, here's the key to the prison. Fargo says, great. I'm gonna go free the others and make my escape. Good luck to you. Anyways, this is a bit longer of a play than I normally do, but I'm going to save this and upload it, and I'll probably be back on with one more in about 30 minutes-ish.